and it comes from them.
You ought to interview Ray McGovern. He was a top CIA briefer to Reagan and Bush the first, and he agrees with everything you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's what Fletcher Prouty said, and I haven't found a thing he's been wrong with yet.
No, it's all accurate. Incredible. Jesse Ventura, always wise, always informed, but just to know that he is really on the fast track to the key to planetary control. It's all staged. In the past it was. There is a split between Russia now, it appears. But in the past, all rigged, two empires carving up the world. We'll be right back with Governor Jesse Ventura.
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
Are you prepared, or are you hardcore prepared? Get hardcore equipped at TacTownGear.com. That's TACTownGear.com. All TacTown gear has been field tested with Canadian and U.S. forces, so we know it's tough. What kind of gear? Our own brands: Arctic Warrior, Homeland Defender, Sandbox Avenger, Urban Peacekeeper, more than 30,000 products, and 90% of it made in Canada and the U.S. See it all at TacTownGear.com. That's TACTownGear.com. Get 72-hour survival kits, Ultima boots, HW1 gloves, tactical link slings, EMA tactical weapon equipment, everything you need to be hardcore prepared. Deal with TacTownGear.com personnel with more than 25 years experience in military and law enforcement. Call now, 418-844-9111. That's 418-844-9111. Or go to TACTownGear.com. TacTownGear.com. Solutions for your area of operation.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cameras, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, April 6, 2010. Gold opened this morning at $1127.70. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1158.41, $579.21 for a half ounce, or $289.60 for the quarter ounce. That's $1158.41, $579.21, and $289.60.
We have always believed our country was about expanding opportunity for Americans. With the passage of the sweeping health care reform, working middle-class Americans are getting the short end of the stick. The health care mandate will require almost every American to be insured or else pay a fine. This means less control over your finances. Take back control by trading in precious metals. Gold and silver have always been and continues to be the leading way to protect against our weakening markets. Call Midas Resources today for a free book, 10 Reasons to Own Gold. Understand the risks and benefits to own metals by calling 800-686-2237. Ensure your financial future now. Call 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237, or visit MidasResources.com.
You know, I wish people could hear our behind-the-scenes discussions. Governor Jesse Ventura is our guest. Jesse, you're always a serious guy, but lately you have really seemed happy. And why are you so happy?
Mexico does that to me, Alex. When I get down there, you know, I spent Friday and Saturday. The waves were great. They were running about 3.5 feet, and they were coming in perfect for surfing. So I had 2 great days of surfing down there. And whenever I can live that lifestyle, I get very content and very pleased with the world.
I hear you. And first you had the tsunami and then the earthquake, but no problems.
No, I didn't even feel the earthquake. The earthquake happened way up by Mexicali, which is right on the border of Mexico and California. Oh, I do want to, here's one thing when we talk that, Alex, that I want to put word out to people on. Please allow me to do it here. Everyone out there that knows anyone in the state of California, please encourage them this fall to vote for the legalization of marijuana. It's going to be on the ballot in California, full legalization to where marijuana will be treated like alcohol and tobacco. And the reason I'm pleading with people to support this is to stop the carnage at the border. Alex, it's awful. 17,000 people have died on the Mexican-U.S. border just in the last year.
I know. It's a war zone.
It's a war zone, and we can end it. We can end it by simply legalizing. Because that puts the cartels out of business. They have nothing to sell then.
But that's common sense. All these fake conservatives say, that's of the devil. Meanwhile, the CIA wants to keep all the drugs illegal, so they have an excuse to put people in prison, and so they can launder the money.
Exactly. But see, we've got it. Here's a chance where we've got it in the palm of our hand, Alex. If the election's legitimate out in California, the people out there can vote for the first step, full legalization of marijuana. And I think if you see California do it, it'll go like wildfire right across the country.
Absolutely. So you heard it here, folks. Vote for the decriminalization, legalization of marijuana in California. Here's a Reuters article. NATO rejects Russian call for Afghan poppy spraying. NATO Wednesday rejected Russian calls for it to eradicate opium poppy fields in Afghanistan, saying the best way for Moscow to help control the drug would be to give more assistance against the insurgency. Then I was listening to BBC a few months ago, and they were admitting that the U.S. protects the opium to be friends with the locals, and it's up more than 12 times what it was 9 years ago, and there's opium flooding the world right now. What's your take on government drug dealing and that they're openly protecting the poppy fields?
Well, you know, look at it this way, Alex. The major banks, the international banks of the world, where do you think all that money gets? There's millions and billions of dollars for the heroin trade gets laundered through. And look at the timing of it. The Wall Street crash happened right at the time the Taliban put the poppy growers out of business.
Yep.
Because and there may be a correlation there.
You're talking about 2000, 2001.
Laundered money, these billions of dollars of laundered drug money, and that could very well have hurt the cash flow of these banks. And that very well could have been, I'm not saying it's the full thing, but it certainly could have been part of the catalyst that made the Wall Street crash happen in 2008.
Well, there's also the fact that the Taliban was cutting it off in 2000, 2001, and you had the crash of 2001.
Yep. Notice how every time the drugs get cut off, it seems Wall Street crashes shortly thereafter.
Well, you're right on that front again, but how can they just be in Reuters saying we're not going to eradicate any poppy fields? I mean, how obvious is that?
Well, it's the old thing of the way we fight the wars today. You know, sometimes the people you get in bed with are worse than the people you're fighting.
You're absolutely right. You know, Governor Jesse Ventura, I have a lot of questions that I want to ask here in my list, but going out to break on this short segment, what else do you want to relay to this audience that you think is important?
Well, again, just to be vigilant and pay attention and to question your government at all times, because it needs to be questioned. Right now, you know, like I said, it should be clear to everyone that Barack Obama's not in charge. I don't believe that he is now, because you see everything that he ran on, he hasn't come through on virtually anything. He's now in the opposite camp, really. And it's almost like he arrived there with this fresh, clean agenda, and it was like they took him to the woodshed and told him, well, you might be the president, but you don't run things.
Well, certainly. Plus, they financed him. They financed McCain. No matter who gets in, they control him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, you look at Obama's biggest